Welcome everybody to our very first live stream here on Some Honest Missionaries. Welcome. If you are watching, I think we have one viewer comment and let me know you're here so I don't feel completely alone. And I know a lot of you guys are going to be watching this afterwards. If we're going to continue to do these live streams, I don't know if we will or not. I'll have to come up with a regular time so that you guys who want to be a part of these streams know when they are. And if you want to let me know in the comments, best time for you. Today on the live stream, we're going to be talking about this channel. In addition to other things, we want to talk about the changes that have been happening on the channel. For those of you who've been around for a while, this channel has gone through different changes over time, but none as significant as the latest change with the renaming of the channel, and also obviously the content changing on the channel, going back to coming back to America, and I want to talk about what that means, but I want this to be a conversation. So y'all let me know if you hear me, let me know if the sound is good in the comments, and keep it coming. I don't even know if the live chat is working. Somebody give me something. But welcome, glad you're here. We got 3 people now, that's great. This is a new thing for me. I haven't done a whole lot of live streaming before. And one of the big reasons why I'm doing this stream now is I finally got a device that will allow me to use my fancy cameras to go live. Oh, great. Maddie Joanna says that it's working. I'm glad you guys can hear me. I have something here blinking at me telling me I have audio, so I was thinking there's got to be something coming through. But I just got this new device. It's called the A10 Mini by Blackmagic. Great name. But they make great devices. And it's this little device here. I'm going to switch to my other camera. I have 2 cameras set up. This is my second camera here. GH5 back there. This camera right here is a 5D Mark III. And I shoot all my vlogs on this camera that you're seeing back here. So this camera is really not as used as that camera. But if you see right here in the foreground, there's this little thing called A10 Mini. It's a little video switcher. Let me see if I can pick it up. It's got buttons on it, and I can plug up to 4 cameras into it, audio into it, and I can switch back and forth between 2 cameras. I can put my nice microphone here on it and capture good audio. So it's kind of a fun toy that I just got that is going to allow me to do a lot more. And if you're in this space of YouTube, if you're in the space of content creation or churches, video ministry, mission media, that kind of thing, this is a device that you should consider, check out. I'm excited about it. I just got it in the mail. But I think this could be a really great device. Hey, Rachel. Is it just you, or is Josh with you too? I'm going to switch back to this camera. But this device is $300. The previous, before this device came out, you'd have to spend at least $1,000, and in most cases, and more than that, to do what this thing can do. And the fact that it's portable is just going to be a game changer. And so I'm excited what that means for this. This channel has been a lot of things, but something that it has always been for me is an opportunity to learn, an opportunity to try things. I mean, initially filming the vlog was just, I wanted to keep shooting, keep editing, keep trying things. I wanted to try out YouTube. I wanted to figure out what was going on in the space. And so this device gives me kind of an open door to use my nicer cameras to go into the world of live streaming and live production. And so if for no other reason than I want to get really good at it, I'm going to probably be using it on here. And so let me know in the comments if you're interested in live streams. It's kind of a longer form. Typically when I'm cutting a vlog together, I'm like cutting out every little second that I can to try and make it as succinct and as short as possible. And I can be quite long-winded. I say a lot of ums in real life, and I can cut those out in the vlog. So this is kind of an interesting space for me, especially here on this channel, to just be like raw, no editing, no look back and say, do I really want to say that? Is that worth their time to listen to? So let me know if you like it, if you're interested. The more positive feedback I get from it, I guess I'll do more of it. So anyway, inspired by this device here, this A10 Mini, I've got this whole setup here, all this equipment I've had for years, but give me this one little device and I can all of a sudden connect it to the internet and do this fancy little thing. So let me know if you have any questions. Let me know in the comments any questions you have about the vlog, about us, about how we're doing, like anything about our lives is fair game, both those of you who are watching live and those of you who are watching afterwards. And make this interesting for me. Like, one of the reasons that you do live stream is to engage your audience more. And so the more you guys interact with me, the more this feels like we're actually doing something together and having fun together. And so that's, for me, one of the big benefits of getting to do this live streaming setup is to actually have a conversation with you guys. Some of you I know face-to-face, have met before. Other people I've never met before, and I want to get to know you more. So leave me long comments, leave me questions, whatever your thoughts are, I want to know. Rachel says, we just watched through the vlogs today from our visit with you in Norway. It gave us the travel bug, made us miss you guys. Well, you guys will have to come visit us in Kansas City. If you haven't watched those vlogs, they were really some of the best days in Norway. We got to go travel around to some fjords. Rachel and Joshua came to visit us. I'll have to post a link down below to them so you can go watch them. Those are sweet memories, Rachel. I agree. So a little update about Elijah. Most of you know our son, who is 6 months old, was born with a condition that required surgery. There's a couple videos on that. And just to give a little update on him, he's doing really well. He's had 2 of his 3 surgeries, and he's just growing really well. He's doing flips and twists and, you know, all kinds of fun things. He's starting to say mama, and I think maybe dad a little bit. And he is going to have his 3rd surgery actually on Monday next week. And so if you could keep him in your prayers, with this next surgery ushers a new period into our family. It could be, it's sort of an unknown. We don't know what it's going to be like. It could be fairly easy and fairly much, it could be like what it's been like, or it could be more difficult for us. So we don't know. So you can keep him and our family in your prayers this next week and after, and I'll try and give you guys an update as to how that went. Those of you who really want to hear more about him, there is a Facebook group that you can see more regular updates in. That'd be a great place to hang out if you want to hear more about Elijah. So let's talk about his channel. Ricardo, nice to have you, man. Watching from Brazil, sweet. I guess the time change is not too different there. Let me know if you have any questions, man. So let's talk about this channel for a second. I don't talk a whole lot about this channel and a whole lot about YouTube on the vlog, although I'm very passionate about it. Maybe I should talk more about it. But this channel has been a growing experience. I've posted, I think, 160 videos on this channel over the last 3+ years, almost 3.5 years. And when I first started vlogging, if you go back and watch the very first vlog, I didn't even know, like, literally anything about it. I mean, when I turned on the camera on the first vlog, I wasn't even really sure what I was doing. I just turned it on and tried, and the audio is terrible. And if you watch the video, like, I don't even say hardly anything in the video. I guess I was too shy. And I didn't really, we had a point to the video, but, you know, it was announcing that we were going to move to Norway and that we were going to do this vlog, but I didn't even say it really clearly. I didn't really engage the camera. So it's been a really big journey. The first season was just filming and editing. We were fundraising, we were going around, we were moving, getting our stuff ready to move to Norway, and that was what we documented. And we were so in it that we didn't really reflect on it on the vlog. And, you know, there's even nervousness around the fundraising. Is it going to work? Are people going to watch the vlog and then not want to support us? Or, like, it was just, I don't even want to talk about it. So the initial season was really just, I'm going to try and film and edit every week. I'm going to try to film all day Saturday and edit that day. It was an outlet for me. It was an opportunity to get better. It was an opportunity to learn on YouTube. I remember even telling myself, I don't even care if the channel gets bigger because I'm really just focused on getting better. And those of you who are thinking about getting to YouTube, maybe that aren't videographers, or even if you are, When you first start off, a lot of it is about getting better, not getting bigger. And most people jump in saying, I want to get bigger, I want to get bigger. Why am I not getting bigger? And I really think the key is to start with, I want to get better. And so, if I had a big audience at that point, I didn't have a whole lot to say, and I wasn't really sure how to say it or how to put it together. And so it was really just about learning and growing. And I did. I learned and grew a lot. Second season, we moved to Norway, and it was just, we took it up a little bit, but it was basically the same. A lot of times I wouldn't even know what I was going to title the video until the end of the day. I was editing it, and I'd be like, oh, what's this video about? And I would post a title and take a still from the video, wouldn't put text over anything like that. Just put it up there. I was titling the videos season 2, episode 4. And I was really gearing the content. I wasn't thinking about this back then, and I almost felt like I was trying to do something else, but really the content was really geared towards our friends back home, and it was telling them about what we were doing and how life was, and it was kind of a window into our world. And so in a lot of ways, that content wasn't exactly it didn't have a whole lot of purpose to it. There wasn't a lot of clarity as to what we were trying to say. I mean, it was basically just, here's our day, here's what's happening. If there's something interesting that happened, I'll try and make it sound interesting. And again, I was learning, but around the end of the second season, coming into the third season, I started to realize that I needed to make the videos more interesting to people, and I needed them to be interesting not just in the title, but also in what was in the video. So I started to think about, what can I make a video about? And I remember one of the first videos that we had that did pretty well was about making Indian food in Norway, and just the idea of okay, we're going to film our day, but then we happen to cook Indian food at the end, and now I'm titling it that, and it's showing up in a lot of people's searches, and they're like, oh, I really want to see that. And that was one of the first videos we had that went over 1,000 views. And so in this process, I started to realize, oh, if I engage the content more, I can really I can make this more interesting to people. So I started to think about what the content should be. Sometimes I thought about it a lot. Sometimes I tried to think about it as I was filming. That's kind of my personality. And I started to make more videos that actually did have content value to them, that watch them from start to finish, the title, it all kind of connects. Not every video, but I started to do more and more and more of that. Did a video about our first year in Norway, did a video about Brunost, Norwegian brown cheese, about learning Norwegian. Some of these videos are some of our most popular videos to this day. So as we went through this process, and if you've watched all the vlogs, you've heard some of that process of us moving home and going through all this stuff. Just a couple weeks before we were leaving Norway, I started really asking God about this series. That makes it sound really like I was praying a lot. I remember asking God about this teaching thing called 30 Days to a Better YouTube Channel, and I felt like God was like, go for it. So when we got back here, maybe a month or two after we got back, I bought this course from video creators, Tim Schmoyer, and it's 30 Days to a Better YouTube Channel. It's just 30 lessons with action points, and the first 2 days it starts talking about who is your audience and what is your value. Who's your target audience and what's your value? What are you proposing as value to your viewers? And I just started thinking about that question. I thought about it for a long time, and I realized, I could make videos for Norwegians who think it's interesting to watch Americans experience their culture, or I can make videos about our lives as missionaries for our supporters, and a lot of our supporters do watch. But I was trying to think about, what is this purpose of this channel, and what is the audience that I really want to connect with? And that, you can reach more than just your target audience, but it's helpful to know exactly who it is you're trying to reach. And what I realized was that what I really wanted was to reach people who had a passion for missions, a passion to go to the nations with the gospel. And some of those people are missionaries. Some of those people have been missionaries. Some of those people want to be missionaries. And some of those people never want to be, have never really thought about being a traditional missionary. They just think they need to be obedient. They need to be engaged. They need to share the gospel with their coworkers. But people specifically who are very interested in, I want my life to matter and to engage the Great Commission in some way. And whatever that looks like, it could be different seasons of that. Like, it may not mean that you're there right now, but that's what I wanted to engage. And the value that we can offer is really looking at what are the obstacles and what are the things that stand in the way of people being able to succeed in what it is that God's calling you to do with that passion in their heart for missions. And for me, a lot of the barriers were like, I just don't know what's happening in missions. I don't know. Before I was a missionary, I don't know what life is like to be a missionary. I know that passionate plea to go to the nations. I've heard it a million times. I'm excited. I'm in. Let's go. But I didn't really know much past that. How do I prepare to be a missionary? How do I, how much training do I need? How do I know how to become a missionary? What are the practical steps? How long do I wait before I take them? How do I know if I'm ready? All these questions. And so that's the content that now that I've done missions, and I don't feel like, I mean, we didn't go to, an unreached people group. We're not necessarily the most hardcore missionaries, but we have done it. We have gone to another country. We have fundraised. We have gone through the process of, connecting with an agency and applying and getting in and going and getting a job. We've gone through that whole process. So we have a lot that we're reflecting on now and realizing, okay, we get this. And honestly, there's been so many things that we did wrong and so many mistakes that we're looking back and now and saying like, wow, that we totally, missed that or didn't realize that. And so I think in addition to wanting to share honestly from our experience, we wanted it to be of value to people. And so as we went through this, as I went through this course, the first day he talks about your audience, the second day he talks about your value that you're offering. Pretty quick after that, he's switching to talking about how you're going to create your channel to implement those two things, how you're going to create content, how you're going to make it obvious to people right away when they see your channel, who you are and what it is you're offering, what it is that you're doing. And, I decided I'm going to go through point by point. I haven't done all of them yet, but go point by point, day by day through and do the tasks, not just read this, not just learn this, but actually put it into action on the channel to grow and to learn. And so I started putting into action some of those smaller things. And one of the things that came up was, what's the title of your channel? And what's your channel art? And what's your channel trailer? Are these initial things that when people don't know you at all, when they connect with you for the first time, do these things really help them understand who you are, help them understand what you're about? And I think this course is not just about growing your channel, it's about making it sharp or making it have value to people. But as I did this course and talked with Tasha about it, we really felt like the thing that I'm passionate about, that I wanted this channel to be about, was less about our experience in missions as a family, because in some ways we are going to be missionaries still, we are working with YWAM still, but we're going to be here in our home country, to shift the channel towards our experience in missions and towards the topic of missions. And so that's where the title came, the name change came to Some Honest Missionaries. I thought about it for a while. I thought about what's our biggest value? Like, what is our biggest, what is the thing what's our core belief? What's something that we really want to hold up and to say, this is something that is significant to us, about us. And the thing I thought about was the fact that we're vulnerable, the fact that we're real, the fact that we share openly about how things are really like. And as I was messing around with that, I felt like the word that really connected that, simply and easily, was the word honest. And so honest missionaries, to be honest with you, putting the word missionaries in the title immediately made all of our other blogs appear higher on searches related to missions. And it immediately tells people who see a video pop up on their homepage or a suggested video, oh, this is somebody that's a missionary. So honest missionaries, I thought about calling it the honest missionaries, and I felt like that sounds so like we are the honest missionaries. We are cornering the market. And honestly, like, I really hope that, shoot, my camera just turned off. I got a second camera. I'm gonna turn it back on. I think I got it back on. I didn't want it to be like we're the missionary YouTube channel. In some ways, I would love this to inspire people out there who are in unreached people groups, who are in foreign countries long term. I'd love to see you guys take this further than us and go somewhere deeper. Do y'all hear Tasha? She's unwrapping boxes over there.
Sorry.
She thinks she's being really quiet, but let me know if you can hear her. Rachel asks, are you guys excited about homeschooling in the fall? Nervous?
That's what I'm unwrapping right
That's what she's unwrapping over there. We just got in a massive 2 boxes full of books. We haven't told the kids yet, so hopefully Bella can't hear. She's going to bed in the room over there. I don't know. Are you nervous, Tosh? She's a little bit nervous. I think she's mostly excited. Keep the comments coming, guys. Let me know, are you tracking with what I'm saying? Is this interesting to you? I'm just talking on and on and on. 21 minutes in. Still got 4 of you here. Who else is here? What do you think about this? Do you have any questions? Is bringing up thoughts? Do you like the changes? Do you like the name change, the direction change? So yeah, that's the story behind the changes that are happening. And what's cool is as I started to narrow in on this specific value set, it kind of like connected with me like, oh, I know all the videos I should make now, like all these videos about missions, about our experience, and thinking about the questions that someone who's interested in missions might have. It really created like a focus that allowed me to really start to think up lots of great video ideas. So what's changing and what's not changing? Let's talk about that. What's not changing is that we're still going to shoot vlog style videos. It's still going to be me running around with the camera acting crazy. It's still going to show our lives in missions. It's still going to show our family, but I am going to think more intentionally about content. And so maybe like, their whole family gets together and goes to the zoo for the day, but I might be talking during that video about what it's like to be a family on missions, or about even evangelism, or whatever the topic is that we'll talk about in that video. I'm going to try to make sure the videos sort of hold on to you can see how they connect with missions across every video. That being said, this channel is still about us as a family. It's not about missions as an idea as much as it's about us as missionaries. And he's being really loud. Elijah's over there too. You want me to hold him?
He's in the box of his toy.
Bring him over here. Let me hold him. You guys want to see Elijah? Maddie Joanna says, what does it mean to be an honest missionary? I guess you said you're a YWAMer. This is Elijah. What do you think, buddy? So yeah, let's talk about that. What is an honest missionary? Great question. Some of that is going to be interesting to talk. You want to hold this, or can I take this? Can I put this down? It's going to be kind of. Elijah's taking over the stream. Hey. I don't know if he likes the light, Tosh.
This is too bright.
You gonna say hi?
Say hi. Hi.
So Maddie, a great question. What does it look like to be an honest missionary? There's definitely, he is cute. There's definitely a good question there that I think we're gonna learn together. But the main thing is that I don't want to put on a face, especially here on this channel. I want to share what's really going on. And there's a lot of topics that I just haven't heard people talk openly about. And I'm pulling up my list of title ideas. Like, for example, what I want to say to those people who stop supporting us. that's kind of a catchy title, but it's something that, you know, that whole interaction of someone no longer supporting you is kind of weird and whatever. And it can be awkward for the person, especially who's no longer supporting. And that's what's crazy to me is like, someone shouldn't feel weird about not supporting us anymore. Maybe God's leading them on, maybe whatever it is, even if they don't like what we're doing anymore, if it's something that harsh, like the fact that they supported us in the first place is amazing. And so the thing that I would want to say to somebody who's no longer supporting us is thank you. Like, seriously, thank you so much for being a part of our team at all, ever. Like, unbelievable gratitude, and people shouldn't feel ashamed for having given or no longer being able to give or no longer wanting to give. Like, so that's a topic that I don't feel like we talk about a whole lot as missionaries, is like going into a topic that's just awkward or weird and saying, okay, you're a supporter of a missionary or you are a missionary yourself. Here's my honest thoughts about this integral part of missions, fundraising, and all those aspects of that. I mean, it could go a bunch of other different directions. Like, one of the things I want to talk about is our parenting. I mean, we've been making a lot of mistakes as parents. A lot of the mistakes we've been making, a lot of things that are going on in our missions world connects with anybody, even a non-missionary, even just a regular Christian. Us sharing about the struggles that we're going through is reflecting on the fact that if we're going to share the gospel with the world, we need to be living the gospel in our homes. It needs to be real to us. We should be broken and repentant of sin. And we need to be honest about that and not make it look like we're so great because we're missionaries. Like, oh yeah, you know, I spend time with God every day and I have no problems at all. And all I do is God's work, and check out my latest newsletter where I highlight all that. And I'm not saying that there, you know, the missionaries that do that should feel bad. Missionaries should do the work they're doing, but that's where, for us, we wanted to kind of say, we want to be honest about that. We want to talk about that. We want you to be able to reflect on that as a missionary, as a YWAMer, but also someone who's considering missions. We want them to process through some of the fear they have around fundraising while they're listening to us talk about how it's actually not that bad. It's actually pretty great. So the more we get to kind of talk about the experience of missions, the reality of being a missionary, that's really what the focus of Honest Missions is. It doesn't necessarily, and maybe we will go this direction more, but like, this reflects back on who we are as missionaries. We're videographers, we're media people. So we're not reflecting on our experience and going out sharing the gospel. That's not our primary focus. Do we do that? Sure. That's a part of the ministries we're a part of, but that's not something that we're focused on getting better at, and that's not something that I have experience teaching, and it's not even something that I feel like I have lots and lots and lots of things to say about, although maybe that'll change some. But it's reflecting on the experience of being a missionary, the process of becoming a missionary. Where do we go? How do we know if missions is successful? How do we know if, like, missions is even working? What is missions? Who are we as missionaries? Is missions defined by the fact that you live in another country? Is it defined by the fact that you're sharing the gospel? Is it defined by the fact that you're full-time? All these different things, you know, that's related back to the idea of being a missionary and the world of missions. And so that's kind of what we're wanting to go after with Honest Missionary. Yeah, I guess we'll see where it goes. I mean, it's not zeroed in on all of our conversations, and everything we do has to be about being super vulnerable and super honest and super intense. You know, not every situation or aspect of missions is super secretive or super, you know, intense. That's not the point. So it's not like we're going to try and be extra honest or really intense about the honesty. We're just going to tell it as it is, I guess. So great question, Maddie. Rachel Hill says, hi, Tasha, I miss you. You make cute babies. I have to agree. So I got 3 of you guys still here. Anybody else have any questions? Anybody? I want to make this more long. Trying to think. So just a couple of other like update type things that we haven't talked about in the blog a whole lot. We'll be starting our staff positions at YWAM Kansas City the plan is late August, and I'll be working as a videographer there. And it's really exciting what they've got going on there. There's a whole bunch of different ministries, but in addition to the YWAM base, they have Call to All, which is a ministry started to help bring missionaries and churches and Christian workers together in local groups around the world to help fulfill the Great Commission. And it was founded by Mark Anderson, the base leader here, and it still, comes out of the base here. And so a lot of the staff and a lot of the stuff they're doing is happening here. And so I'll get to do video work with them. They have within that All America, a push, I think, over the next 10 years to reach every American with the gospel. And then there's also some evangelism based organizations, big stage evangelism and street evangelism. I don't know a whole lot about what those ministries are, so as I learn more, I'll share with you. And then there's also just the YWAM base with DTSs and SBS. Sorry for those of you who are not YWAMers, discipleship training schools and school biblical studies. So there's a lot of missions going on here, and then it's also connected, I guess officially, but it's not a ministry. They're not doing ministry actively together day in, day out, but International House of Prayer is here in Kansas City. It's right next to, it's a mile away from the YWAM campus. So there's a lot of interaction between the two of those, and a big heart with the YWAM Kansas City is prayer and missions movement, the prayer movement and the missions movement coming together and working together. That's actually happening here, but it's also something that they want to be an apostolic voice for. And so, what does apostolic voice mean? It means a forerunner, leading the way, going out in advance, saying something new. I think of apostolic as kind of like entrepreneurial in the spiritual sense or the kingdom sense. So, being an entrepreneurial voice of missions and prayer, those two movements working together, that we're not going to fulfill the Great Commission because we're really practically good at missions alone. We need prayer, and we need more than just, we're going to pray a little bit about it. We need covering, and the prayer room down the street is 24/7 prayer. So that's really cool. All right, well, we've been going for 30 minutes. Are you guys enjoying this? I got 3 of you sticking around. Let me know in the comments, even if those of you who are watching this afterwards, if you like this, if you like the longer style video, more open conversation. Let me know what topics you want to talk about in the future. I'm doing what I can to get you guys to talk here. Appreciate Rachel and Maddie, the two of you, Ricardo, for helping me out in the chat over there. I'll talk about one more thing. Maybe I'll talk about this again later, but if you're interested in YouTube, if you're interested in creating content, this is a great, this is a fantastic time to consider creating content. There's, especially in the Christian segment, there's so few Christians creating content on YouTube with purpose and clarity and direction. You don't have to have a fancy camera. I know I'm making it look like you do. You don't have to have this big setup. You don't have to have a really nice editing software. What you need is clarity around who it is you're trying to reach and what it is that you want to say to them. And there's just so much space for people to tell their stories, for people to share their experience, talk about their struggles. Really, any Christian out there, sharing openly and actively about their journey with God. I think there is just so few people creating content, understanding how YouTube works, that if you create content and engage the audience, and you learn how to do content on YouTube specifically, you learn how to get people to stick around, you learn how to get people to click. There's so few Christians that have learned how to do that and are doing that, and there's so much space available. There's 1 billion active users on YouTube every day. It's bigger than television. It's bigger than the biggest YouTube channels have bigger viewership than, CNN, Fox News, whatever, BBC. I mean, there is huge viewership, and it's where the next generation is. There's so much happening here. And so this channel and the things that I'm learning, the things I'm doing, growing this, saying, I'm going to change the channel name. I'm going to start making the content more specific. It's about improving myself, but it's also about wanting to succeed in utilizing this tool that's available to reach a new audience as a Christian, as a missionary. And I believe that this could be a really powerful recruiting platform where if I find an audience, if I make content for people with a passion for missions, this could be a channel that helps remove barriers for people that are interested in missions. This could be a channel that helps activate people in missions. And so I don't know if that's something I'm supposed to say like overtly out loud, but like, why am I making content about being honest as a missionary on YouTube? It's because I want people to be obedient to God in whatever God's calling them to do. But if that's missions, if that's going to the nations, if it's going to an unreached people group, I want to help as much as I can remove barriers from your path. Like if it's the finances that's keeping you, if it's the fear that's keeping you, if it's, I don't know what that's going to feel like, or my life is just going to be terrible, or whatever is keeping you away from that, I want this channel to be a place where we talk about those things and hopefully remove some of those barriers so that you go to the nations, you go in response to God's call in your life. And maybe he's not going to lead you to go to the unreached people groups, but maybe he is. And that, like, the point isn't about me trying to get everybody to go do hard missions. The point is for me to encourage everyone to be obedient to God. When we moved back to Kansas City out of obedience to God, I'm going to talk more in vlogs about how I feel about being a missionary in America, how I feel about God calling us back here, and some of the things that I wrestle with through that, and even some of the things I'm still wrestling through now. But it's not about where you go. It's not about what your life looks like to somebody else. It's about, are you walking in obedience to God? And so as we're honest about missions, I hope it causes you to be honest with God about your own missions journey and your own practical journey. Wow, I've always felt like I was going to be a missionary, but I never did. Or I was a missionary for a year, but then this bad thing happened and, oh well. I would love to be a part of that conversation, that dialogue, being honest with the realities of missions that help get you on the mission field, help get you in obedience to God. But even those of you who are already on the mission field, or those of you who are in the process or will one day be on the mission field, I hope this channel helps prepare you, helps give you a sense of what's ahead, helps you think through things in advance and talk to God about things before they blow up in your face, like they did with me, in regards to family missions, in regard to how to relate to God as a missionary, the challenges of knowing how do I spend my time and how do I think about my work, and all those things are conversations that I want to have. So that's sort of my passion. It's, let's use YouTube as Christians to impact the world, to impact people's lives, to inspire people to say yes to God, inspire people to trust God, to believe God when he speaks to them. And this channel specifically, I want this place to be a place that inspires missionaries, inspires people with a missions heart and missions call, to say yes to God and to be healthy in it, and to be honest with themselves and honest with God, and even honest with the people supporting them, not just financially, but also like their friends and their family. I hope this place is a place that kind of helps people think practically about missions. So there you go. We are almost at 40 minutes. I think I'm going to cut this soon. Thank you guys so much. I just want to say thank you to all of you who have watched videos on this channel, those of you who have hit subscribe, those of you who've liked videos, have commented on videos. I feel like my heart in all this is I just love making videos, and the fact that you guys want to watch them, the fact that you guys are still here after 3.5 years, that there's more of you now than ever, is just a blessing to me and exciting to me, that I can take my passion for making videos and have fun doing it on the weekends, and that it leads to hopefully inspiring, encouraging, making you guys smile. Thank you for the 3.5 years. Thank you to all 1,000 of you plus that have subscribed. If you haven't subscribed yet, do that. If this is like the first video you're watching on this channel and you made it this far, congratulations. That's intense, impressive. Maybe I just connected with you. Go check out the homepage. I put a couple playlists there with some of my favorite vlogs, ones that I would encourage you to start on. And subscribe, stick around. if you watch this much of the video, like you got to subscribe because it's just you obviously this connects with you. So anyway, we'll see you guys. I don't know. I might have a video that goes out next week, but it might be the week after that, depending on how the surgery goes. They'll be praying for that. I'll link the Facebook page down below if those of you who want to follow with his updates over that surgery. We'll post on there the surgery. Thank you guys. We'll see you next time. Peace.